What is good, my peeps? The Ruckus Hummer coming at you again with another action figure review. This time we have a Hasbro Pulse slash Shop Disney exclusive, the last of the X-Men VHS line. And what better way than to close them out with the man himself, Cyclops. Yes, indeed. And this is pretty special because, as most of you know, the vast majority of the VHS line has been basically just repaints. There have been some new parts added, you know what I'm saying? And but for the most part, they've been repaints. Of course, we got an all new character with Morph, so that was cool. And we're getting, even though this is another Cyclops, it's a different Cyclops simply because it's on the Vulcan body, and that's what we've been waiting for. All we've got, no matter what costume Cyc has been in, it's always been the Bucky cap. And I mean, when you say ad nauseum, I mean ad nauseum. Both he and Havoc, his brother Alex, the Bucky cap. I mean, it definitely has to be up there for the most used body mold for a single character, or close to it. Anyhow, enough about that. We've got an all new one, and you could see right there he's staring back at us, just waiting to show us what he's working with. And but before we do that, we have to check out the packaging. VHS style, you see we've got the X-Men, Marvel Cyclops, some nice artwork, cartoon style there. And turn to the side. Here's where you get the VHS aspect of it. You see down below there, that looks like you could slide it off of a VHS tape from back in the 80s and the 90s. But it's not. That's just part of the packaging. You've got that logo on the side. It repeats on the other side. On the top, you have the X-Men logo, Marvel Cyclops there. And then, of course, on the back, we have a digital render of Cyclops, and we have a readout, our final readout of the VHS line. Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, is one of Xavier's very first students and fights tirelessly for Xavier's dream as the X-Men field leader. Yes, indeed. So, not only is Cyclops on a new body mold, that body mold has been retooled to accommodate the unique aspects of Cyc's costume, his uniform, and we'll get into that after we go through our little formalities here. But let's get that going right now by getting him on our rotating base before we peep Cyclops himself out, go through his accessories as it were. He comes with, and only comes with, these three hands. We've got two left hands and one right. We see we've got the right there, you can see we've got that Jean Grey pleasure hand, and then we've got a pair of grasping hands there. So now we've got Cyclops on our rotating base and going around, and we could see 360 degrees worth. He is cell shaded, as is the motif of the VHS line, because it's themed after the 90s cartoon. So for me, obviously the highlight is Cyclops is on the Vulcan body. As far as the cell shading is concerned, I could take it or leave it. It right now, I mean, it looks better than most, but I'm still not impressed with it. For me, the best example of the cell shading is still far and away Wolverine for me. That's about it. In terms of like with Storm, her cell shading, it just made it look like she's in a different costume, but a good looking costume. So there is that plus there. But in terms of the effect they're trying to achieve, only Wolverine seems to have achieved that effect in my eyes. Anyway, enough about that. We will get Cyclops off the rotating base and get an up close look to see what is the what. But while I'm getting him off the base, what I need you guys to do is go down below and like the video. While you're down there, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel and help us grow, support, for real. Anyhow, enough of that. Time to get Psych off of the base. So here we have Psych up close. We could see some of the differences already. This is definitely a new head sculpt from the Cyclops that we've normally been getting, and I do believe even the hair is different, and we'll see that when we do. You know, we got to do the inevitable comparison with our Bucky Cap Psych, and we'll see what's the what there. But he's blazing the hair. You see how that looks, and you can see the cell shading right there on his visor on the right side, and that's what it's going to be. We're going to see most of that cell shading is going to be favoring the right sides of whatever portion of the body we go down. So, and we'll do that right now. And you see you've got some of that cell shading on that harness strap, which goes over his right shoulder, and then going down that shoulder, he's molded in blue, and you see the cell shading on that right arm all the way down to his wrist, and that wrist strap there, which is loose, I should tell you, is you see the cell shading on that as well. Then getting to looking at him, the front, I'll lift up his neck. You can see that cell shading actually does start at the neck and then works its way down to the right side. So yeah, that's what we have there. When we look at that arm, that self-same arm, there's nothing going on the interior of that right arm, but on the left arm, we've got cell shading down there along the inside of the left forearm. So there is that. We get that cell shading also on the inside of the that wrist, those wrist straps right there. So you've got that. Then going down, you've got cell shading on, once again, the right side there of his utility belt. The while we're looking, the X's on both the harness and the belt are nice and clean, so that's cool. Looking at the legs, you see where we've got the cell shading right down the center of the thigh, and it's also encompassing the strap. Both sides on the left leg, it's favoring the right interior of that leg. You see the strap has got some, and then you got some blue cell shading right there. Going further down, you see inside the boots there on the outside of the right boot, and the same thing goes for the shoes themselves, as you can see. Turn to the back, see if there's anything going on back there, and we've got nothing going on in the back right there. So that's what we have there with our Cyclops. And now, of course, the quick comparison between our VHS Cyclops versus the Bucky Cap Cyclops, our first Cyclops, with this Jim Lee style costume. Of course, it was on the Bucky Cap. This is the first of the Jim Lee style costumes, but it was not the first time that we saw Scott Summers on the Bucky Cap body. I mean, think of the body, and Psych was occupying it. Think of the costume, I should say. Psych was occupying it. And well, we're finally out of that now, aren't we? So you see the differences. The Vulcan body mold is of course thicker, nice sized, and we get the butterfly joints with that too, so that's pretty cool. And so there's a lot more different to these two figures than just the coloration of the respective costumes. Taking a height measurement of our VHS Cyclops, we're talking about, he's coming in at 6.5 inches. As far as his articulation is concerned, his head is on a ball peg, so he can look up that far. Crazy, nice. He can look down that far. Of course, we can rotate 360, and some attitude, more one direction than in the other. but it is what it is. We've got the butterfly joints. He can draw back pretty far. He can get his shoulders up to almost 90, and they will rotate 360. He's got the rotation at the bicep for 360. Double jointed pinless elbows. We love that. Those wrist bands are loose, so be careful. He can he's got horizontal hinge on his wrists, and they swivel. He's got an ab crunch, so he can get forward that far, go back that far. He's got a waist swivel, so you've got the 360 right there. He can do the splits that far out. He can get his leg that far forward, that far back. He's got thigh cut, and you notice it's cut there where the belt is. The belt, there's actual, we'll take a pause right there. They retooled the leg so that these belt straps are actually basically inserted and glued into that piece right there. So that's definitely an improvement. You know, from the past couple Jim Lee style Cyclops, these straps were just there loose, along with the straps above the belt, and obviously the wristband. But I digress. Had to take a pause for that. We've got double jointed pinless knees. If it'll go for me, there we go. And we do have that boot cuff. Once again, remember these straps would have fallen down, but now they're tooled in, so that's pretty cool. He can point his toe that far forward, that far up, not too far up going up, but we get something there. He's got the ankle pivot, and we've got holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. As you can see, a very big item is missing from this set. We've got Cyclops here. He came with 3 different hands in addition to the 2 that he came out of packaging with, but we get no optic blasts at all. I mean, that's just sad. What is Cyclops without his optic blasts? So we'll go on and end this review with the group shot of all 8 figures that came in this VHS line. We've got, of course, Cyclops today, and going from our left to our right, Wolverine, who I still think is the best cel-shaded figure here. Next to him, we've got Storm, who I think the cel shading just made her appear to have a different costume, which looks great to me for what it is. Not for it being cel shaded and the effect, but the altered costume that it created. Then behind her, we've got Morph, which was welcome. Everybody has been clamoring for a cartoon version of Morph for years. Next to him is the being that basically caused Morph to become a villain. We got Mr. Sinister himself. Next to him, we've got Mystique, and then coming down on our far right, we've got Jubilee, and then next to her, we've got, of course, Jean Grey in that cartoon-style ponytail. That is the VHS series. And looking at all of the figures, I have to say, even though I think Wolverine has the best cel shading effect, the best overall figure here is, of course, our new acquisition today, Cyclops. And the simple fact that we get to say that Cyclops, of all characters, is the best figure in the line, that's an achievement in and of itself, because we have never been able to say that before, but we can say so now. So I'm going to, that's a great note to end this review on. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your questions, comments, critiques down below. And please, if you need to be notified when I upload another video, there is that bell. Hit that too while you're down there. And yeah, so pretty decent VHS wave. I know it's mostly repaints and everything like that, but it's nice for the whole premise of this entire line is great. The nostalgia for it being, the VHS style packaging, and their attempt at the cell shading, valiant, though I think we came up short a lot. But still pretty good. We managed to get some new retooling with some of the figures, and of course we've got a new character period in Morph, and we've got our Cyclops the way we want him. So hey, it's all good in the hood. So with that note, I am the Ruckus, and I leave you with this. Remember, the hunt continues, because while it continues, there's always hope to get the figure that you want, the way you want. I'm talking and looking at you, Cyclops. And I'm out. Peace.